Hi, I'm Mark Ross, Professor of Systematic Theology at Erskine Theological Seminary in Columbia, South Carolina. And I'd like to invite you to a Lunch and Learn program that we are hosting here at the Erskine Columbia campus, which is located in the First Presbyterian Church, Columbia, South Carolina. It will be held on October the 24th, beginning at noon. We will be serving lunch, and during that time, I'll be making a presentation on Presbyterian church government and history, dotted across the landscape of the many different kinds of churches that exist in the world today that serve the Lord Jesus Christ. There are a number of churches which, by their name, are primarily identified by the form of government under which they live. Presbyterianism is one of those. Episcopalianism would be another one of those. Congregationalism is another one of those. We'll be looking just at Presbyterian church government, and this is in anticipation of a course that we will be offering in the spring semester on Presbyterian church history and government. You know, Presbyterianism is primarily associated with the name of John Calvin, but its history goes a lot further back than that. In fact, were we to look at the Westminster Assembly, coming a little over 100 years after John Calvin, they were looking a lot further back than John Calvin for this pattern of church government. In their directory for a Presbyterian church government, they had this to say: as there were in the Jewish church elders of the people joined with the priests and Levites in the government of the church, so Christ, who has instituted government and governors ecclesiastical in the church, has furnished some in his church, besides the ministers of the word, with gifts for government, and with commission to execute the same when called thereunto, who are to join with the ministry in the government of the church, which officers Reformed churches commonly call elders. They look back to Old Testament pattern. We see it, for example, when Moses is at the burning bush in Exodus chapter 3. God tells him to go and to meet with the elders of the people of Israel. During the time of the Exodus, Exodus chapter 18, Moses' father-in-law will see Moses just completely worn out in attempting to settle all the disputes that arise among the many people that came with him coming out of Egypt. And Jethro advised Moses at that time that he needed to appoint these elders to join with him in the government of the people so that he would not be worn out. That form of government was actually confirmed after the Sinai covenant in the book of Numbers, chapter 11, when God said that he would take some of the Spirit that was placed upon Moses and put it on the elders in order that they might join with Moses in leading the people of God. It was that form of leadership which, joined with the priests and the Levites, continued with the people of God through the Old Testament and into the New Testament period, as we see elders alongside the priests during the lifetime of Jesus. After the day of Pentecost, when the Christian church comes into its maturity, we will see that elders are joined with the apostles in the government of the church as we come to Acts chapter 15, when they must settle the question of whether the Gentiles will be brought under the same yoke of obligation as the Jews had lived under in the Old Testament. We'll explore what happened to that form of government across the history of the church, how it was recaptured in the time of the Reformation, and how it comes to its most modern expression in our churches today. We'd love to have you join with us for that lunch and join with us in the course during our spring semester. Thank you very much.